Hello everyone, welcome to another podcast radio show. Today's episode is episode 10 of the podcast radio show. With my good friend Kofi Smilles, we chat about radio, have a kindly chat, and we chat about his love for radio, his passions for radio, and all about radio basically. So yeah, join me for the wrap up. My next upload later on today will be with Viking FM legend Jim Coulson, so join me for that. And I'll also try and upload later on tonight my Nigel Bond interview, the next episode in the Chatbox series, episode 15 of the Chatbox podcast with Nigel Bond, so stick around for that as well. Yeah, so here's my interview with Jim Coulson, Kofi Smilles. Yeah, here's my interview with him now.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another podcast. It's 2021. We are in lockdown. Welcome to episode 10, of the Ben Lister podcast radio show here on Hull Kingston Radio 107.4 FM. And in previous episodes, we have had guests such as the Stephanie Hurst and Sean Goldsmith and broadcaster Patrick Billington and Radio Humbersad's very own Lucy Clark and broadcaster Dan Murphy and motoring journalist Paul Woodford and the mighty Leeton from the Layman Show and his young protege DJ Ashley Noble. Then last time we had the lovely Kim Harrison. We had radio presenter Chris Marsden, but today he is a great friend of mine and he is from Radio Humberside. He's the record-breaking, history-making king of smiles. It's the one, the only, from Radio Humberside, Kofi Smilles. Hello, Kofi.
Hey, what's happening, Ben? How you doing? What an intro, man. What an intro. You hyped us up, man. I loved it. Usually I've got to be my own hype, man. I don't know what to say now that I've got someone else hyping me up. Thank you very much for that. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. I've promised you this for a year.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while now. Ever since the Centre for Investigative Journalism lecture that they gave us. So I remember that's where I met you in person for the first time. And I think it was about this time last year, wasn't it?
We met through a friend of mine called Sean McAllister.
Exactly. Yeah, he was there. He gave a really good speech.
Yep. Okay, we are here to that. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been a pretty long day and I've got a lot of stuff to do before I get to bed. So hopefully in the next 3-4 hours, I can get everything done that I need to do. I'm looking forward to a bit of exercise this evening. Usually it's a thing that energizes me up. I should have done it a bit earlier, but I'm training with a friend. Well, I say I'm training with a friend. I'm training with a friend virtually, but I'm feeling good. How are you?
Fantastic. I've got to get down to a radio studio after this interview, and it's about 40 minutes away from my current studio, so I'll make it.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Yeah, it's for Hull Kingston Radio, so I'm ready.
Good.
Are you 5 questions about your broadcast career, if that's okay?
Yeah, mate, that's grand. That's fine. Fire away.
You ready to rumble?
I'm ready to rumble. I'm going to be like Shawn Michaels in the... I can't remember which Royal Rumble it was. Was it 95, 96? First man in, last man out? That's what I'm ready.
Let's begin. Question 1. Where did you start your broadcast career?
Oh, professionally or just in general? Or when the first time I had in general? Probably in one of the rooms in my parents' house because I was always listening to the radio with my sisters, always listening to music. And anytime songs came on, and this is back in the day where we didn't have our phones and stuff. And I say back in the day like it was ages ago, probably about 25, 26, 27 years ago. Any time a song came on, I had this radio player where I put blank cassettes in and I just record the music there. But then we also had a really old sort of cassette player where we could record your voices. So I'd be recording songs on the radio and then recording my own shows with my sisters and stuff. And yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it because the thing about radio, it was because I didn't see that many, in fact, I very rarely saw black people on TV. And the black people I did see on TV were all criminals or sidekicks and stuff. One of the things that made me gravitate towards the radio was that, it could be anyone, because anytime you switched it on, it was always his voice always this voice just talking to you. Or it's comforting, it was funny, it made you laugh, it made you cry, and it made you want to be part of something. You felt you were part of a gang. And obviously the voice was just the rope pulling the songs along and introducing me to different types of music. And I just loved the whole craft of it, the whole mystique of it. And I think subconsciously I didn't realize I wanted to get into presenting, but I just wanted to be around music. I just wanted to be around film. I wanted to be around people just having a laugh and spreading that sort of joy and that vibe to other people. So I guess it would have started in one of the rooms here in my parents' home. But when I got a bit older and I managed to get this high 8 video camera, I used to go around Wivensey with my friends. And remember the show Jackass?
On MTV?
Yeah. So me and my mates used to go around Wivensey, borrowing trolleys, so like Proudfoots and stuff, and like taking it onto the promenade, and we were skateboarding and stuff. And I was taking this high-end video camera, and I used to just film me and my friends just messing around and stuff. And we used to do our own versions of like Back End of the Y, I said Jackass, Dirty Sanchez, and there was a time when me and my mates were so obsessed with the video MTV Movie Awards and the Music Awards. And if you've ever seen those, there's always these little sketches that the hosts always do, which they sort of Photoshop and like impose themselves into movies at the time. And I just loved all that sort of stuff. I just totally loved it. And I was just doing stuff like this for fun. Like I had history projects where instead of doing an essay, I would do a history documentary instead about the person we were meant to be talking about. And I'd get marked for it. And I don't know, I've always just messed around with the camera and tried to have fun and do things a little bit differently and stuff. But I think having a proper radio show came when I went to uni. And I started, I did a podcast, Boomtown Radio, or as one of my radio modules on my English and journalism course. And we did so well at it and we enjoyed it so much that we decided to stay on, and we pitched it to the university to be like, look, can we carry on a bit of funding for this? Is this something we could do? We can make it work. And I did that. I had a show where it was all about just finding new music, new art, new music and new bits of like arts and culture, but mainly like film and TV, and talking about it. And you know, me and my I guess colleagues Christian and Ryan, we would go into Newcastle and we would find artists and we would find DJs who were coming into the city and interview them, and just like take the interviews, put them online and put them on the podcast, which was getting like streamed throughout the uni and stuff. And then once that finished, I stayed on to do my masters at Northumbria, but I went and joined NSR, Newcastle Student Radio, where I did my show Get Familiar, which is probably my first proper official sort of time slot. So I used to do, I think I was on 2 till 3 on a Monday afternoon, and then I started doing 8 till 10. But then sometimes people wouldn't show up, so I would come in at like 7 o'clock and do like 7 till 10, and sometimes the guy after me, Jake, who did this really cool chill wave trip hop show, he would sometimes he wasn't there, so I'd end up coming in from 7 and leaving at like 1, and just be there with like my laptop, loads of USBs and some CDs, and just like playing music and just talking rubbish into a microphone and stuff. And it was awesome. I loved it. I really, really loved it. So I'd probably say Newcastle Student Radio was the place, I reckon. Yeah, I'd have to say that.
Wow, Kofi, you're a legend, mate. Lots of people are fans of yours. My friends are fans of yours.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. And anytime you need a co-presenter, just call me up or yeah.
I know where to tweet. I know who to tweet.
Yeah.
My guy. This is my guy.
Question 2. Who were your inspirations in broadcasting growing up?
Ooh. I would definitely have to say Zane Lowe. So Zane Lowe, I remember seeing Zane Lowe on MTV's Gonzo, MTV2's Gonzo, and now that was like a music show which looked at all alternative music, which covered, and I'll use alternative covering all brackets of the work. So anything that wasn't sort of your generic pop friendly radio stuff, it was on there. So I've always listened to various types of music, all sorts of genres, and I've always liked to sort of mishmash them together when I'm making like CDs and playlists and all this sort of stuff. So when Zane comes out playing things like the Beastie Boys and A Tribe Called Quest and Incubus and Limp Bizkit. He's also dropping things like Far Side and like Apex Twin, but then he's also played, Chairlift and all these like pop and like sort of soft rock bands, and he's just an absolute incredible amalgamation of genres. I saw it, I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that. He's the only person doing what I want to do. He's listening to everything, talking about everything, playing everything. I want to do that. And I just thought his whole sort of passion and commitment to music and artists and his general enthusiasm. I still listen to him this day on Apple One. He's one of my favorite broadcasters. Like, I listen to him every single day. In fact, the first thing I do when I get up in the morning, then I switch on Apple Music and I stick on Zane Lowe and listen to his previous day's show whilst getting ready and driving into work. And yeah, I just think he inspired me so much, and I learned so much from him about the detail you can go into when interviewing. You can never know.
Enabled video skills that can do that. Go to the Alexa app to manage your video skills and devices.
Sorry, I'm not going to say her name.
No
It's
need to
apologize. Yeah, so to this very day, I learned so much about you can never know too much about whoever you're going to interview, because he knows so much and he makes it, the fact that he goes so deep is so welcoming, so warming and stuff. So there was Zane Lowe, who showed me it was possible to do anything and be anything and like talk about anything. And Reggie Yates as well. And there was him and Dev who owned Smile. And just seeing them go to like One Extra and Radio One, it was just incredible to see these two young black kids that were just doing their thing, being themselves, but being really smart, being really clever, and just seemed to have a bit more freedom over what they were broadcasting. And yeah, it was definitely those three. Annie Mac, I loved, because she was just herself, and the fact that she was a dance DJ originally, but then give her the opportunity, she could flex herself into talk about hip hop. She could flex herself into talk about the way she would talk about alternative music, alternative rock bands, and stuff like that. She loves her drum, she loves guitar. It was definitely those. I would definitely give it to those four for the most part. When I was a kid growing up, and I listened to Hursty and Pimp Daddy Dog on Viking FM, and on TV. On TV, it's quite hard because I didn't watch a lot of. There wasn't that much stuff that I watched which had presenters, other than like Total Request Live and stuff like that, and like the wrestling announcements. Oh, and when I was watching wrestling, so there might have been the presenters on wrestling and the various celebrities that hosted the MTV Video Awards. That was pretty much it. But yeah, I guess that was it. So I'll definitely say Zane Lowe, Reggie Yates, Dev, and Annie Mac. I'd put those guys down.
And also somebody else as well, called Clara, I think her name is. She's on Radio One.
Clara Amfer. So yeah, Clara came up quite a bit later. So when I love listening to Clara, I still listen to her now. But I did, when I was growing up, she wasn't on the radio when I was growing up. I don't think she got on there until I was like in my 20s, to be honest. Even though, so then I was still listening to radio and still inspired by it as well.
Yeah, you're an inspiration to the next generation, and I admire your work outside of work when you did the protesting. I admire that.
Oh, thank you. The Black Lives Matter one. Yeah.
And I'm an equal person, and also I admire what you're doing for that movement, because you're an inspiration to young people who, you're an inspiration to the next generation of broadcasters.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you very much, Ben. And you yourself, you have no idea who's watching you, who's listening to you, who's been like, look, I'm loving what this guy does. I'm liking his vibe. I'm liking his style. You just have, you won't know. So you've just got to keep doing the podcast, doing the radio, because people are going to be listening and they're going to be inspired by it, and it, that just proliferates on and on and on, which is a good thing. Do you know what I mean? We're here to inspire each other. We're here to encourage each other. We're here to make sure we all know that anything we want to do is possible as long as we give it a try, and you'll have people around you to support you.
I raise awareness for the autism movement to get more autistic people into radio, or more diverse. level playing field, a bit like something similar to what you're doing.
Yeah, and you've got to keep trucking on, Ben. You can't be discouraged by anyone. And if you feeling it's like it's a cause worth fighting for. It's a cause worth standing up for. Got to do it. Just stick by your guns, man. You have to stick by your guns.
Yeah. Sorry, that was just Pete Mills just giving me a few details.
It's all right.
Yeah, Pimp Daddy Dog's a good guy as well. Danny Irks,
yeah. This is going way
back to the Viking days when Darren Leatham was the producer of The Breakfast Show.
Darren Leatham, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. I do miss. Pardon?
He's now working at Hull Kingston Radio.
Is he?
He does an 80s show on a Thursday night at 7:00.
Oh, what?
Because he's good friends with Pete, you see.
Yeah, Darren Leatham. That's mad. That is absolutely mad. Okay.
And Stephanie Hurst leads his answer to Andy Comfort now.
Yeah, because she does the afternoon show, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's good. She's really, really good. And she does all the DJing on online as well, doesn't she? Is it on a Friday night, Saturday night?
Saturday night, Kitchen Belters.
Kitchen Belters. Yeah, I think she's class. I think she's great. What a fantastic broadcaster.
She knows of you. She knows you, I think.
Oh, really? That's so strange. That's so weird to hear. Because I remember seeing Hursty at Feel the Noise Live. Remember when they used to do Feel the Noise Live at East Park? Yeah. I remember one year when seeing them Pimp Dog, and I was freaking out like, oh my days, there they are. They are. My friends just not being that bothered. Really, I think they were more fussed about Blue and Busted that were performing. I was just wanting to see all the radio presenters that day. And my friends were like, yeah, you're an absolute nerd, bro. Do you know?
There was a guy on Viking as well called Paul Griffiths.
What was it? What time was he on?
He used to do mid-morning straight after Hairsty.
Right, okay. No, I can't remember Christopher. Yeah. I remember this is Hursty in the car. And then I remember Hursty when he went to Leeds as well, and she went to Leeds as well. So yeah.
She used to do Capital Breakfast before it became networked.
Oh, really? Did she?
She used to do Capital Yorkshire Breakfast, but now there's Jojo.
Yeah. Oh, it's Capital. Yeah, it's Jojo. Who is it now? Is it Jojo?
No, they do it network, so it's Roman Kemp, son of Martin.
Oh yes,
Kemp,
of course. Yeah, it's
from
Roman.
Spandau.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah, it went networks, isn't it? Because was it Boz, Adam, and Jojo? It wasn't it?
Yeah, but now it's just Jojo and Adam because they do the 3 hours at output from Leeds 4 till 7 drive.
Is that it? That's the only bit that's coming out of Leeds?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the way radio's going at the moment.
Oh no. I know.
Now that the breakfast show's been extended for an hour because it used to be 9.
I know. I love it. I love these 4-hour slots. Everyone's like, you must hate them. I'm like, nah, I love it. Give me as much time on the radio as possible. That's what I say.
Question 3. What is your favourite part about the job?
It's a good question. I think it's one of the fun things is turning up on the day and obviously knowing the interviews that we've got to have a chat about, but flicking open the mic, seeing that red light ping on and just being like, I have no idea where I'm going with this. And I'm kidding. And just being like, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to have some fun today. And just thinking the show could go anywhere. We can have loads of stuff lined up and it might not work and it might be a bit flat. Or I guess might not be bringing it, might not be feeling a certain way during the day. But then we can have nothing lined up and then sometime or not as much sort of prepared for some stuff, or we're just going to take it easy on some days. And then it can just absolutely fly. I just love how radio can be so unpredictable. And I love that relationship that we build up with our listeners. There's some people who have messaged in saying we weren't on board with this, we weren't enjoying it, but we're absolutely loving it now. And it's just, it's just a joy to sort of hear you guys having fun, but also delivering the news. And it's it's good to know that we could allow people to still be kept informed about what's happening in their area, about what's important to them, because no one else is going to do it. But also we can still cheer them up, especially during COVID. It's a really weird and dark time for a lot of people. People are feeling bad about stuff. So there's anything we can do to help people feel better and to help alleviate, I guess, the stress and the worry, we'll do that. So I would definitely say it's that myself.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love, coming onto the show and I guess just having a good time and helping people sort of, I don't want to say forget, but just help people feel a little bit better about what's going on, feel better about themselves and feel better about the world around them, or help give them point them in the right direction to how things can improve, or to give them that quick distraction from everything that's going on around it, because we all need it, man. We can't be plugged in, we can't be dialed in to our realities all the time. It's just too much. Sometimes we need to take a step back and look at it from a different point of view, or just look at things through a different lens, so we can be like, okay, this is how I'm seeing the world and this is what I'm focusing on. But then sometimes if you pull back and be like, okay, by focusing on this one thing and seeing things in this one perspective, I'm missing out on everything else. So being able to sort of almost be, you've seen the Marvel films, right? That bit where Doctor Strange gets punched out of his body and he becomes astral, he's in his astral form.
Yeah.
That's kind of feel like what we do with the radio sometimes. We take people out of their bodies and do a bit of astral projection and be like, look, you're living your life like this, or this is all you know about this. Let's show you something else. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, I think that Radio Humberside, I said this on Twitter before Christmas to Peter Levy on Twitter, because he was on about awards on Up North, who has made your lockdown smile, and I put you and the Radio Humberside gang to him.
Yeah. Gang.
And I said, you guys, and I said, Radio Humberside should win an award for their coverage over lockdown.
Maybe. If we have an entry into the Gillards or the Iris next year, maybe.
Who knows?
Just maybe.
You deserve it.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. Question 4. How has COVID affected your life and line of work?
My life hasn't changed that much, other than gym's been shut and I haven't been able to go to the gigs. But it has affected a lot of people around us, which has really been sad to see, because I feel so helpless to be able to help them. I'm like, the only thing I've really been able to do is sort of talk and be there for them, and and that's I find that quite upsetting. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause I just want people to, I just want people to be enjoying themselves and winning and happy and enthusiastic about stuff. But so many of my, I guess, friends and family have been affected by COVID in different ways, and they're feeling the same sort of way, and heads are down, and people are rightly so, but it's just like, look, when you try and do something to make them better and you can't, it's a bit disheartening. But then I should be I'm not trying to make it about myself and stuff, but it sucks seeing people you care about not happy and you can't help them. Do you know what I mean? And that's the main thing that's getting us down. And it's sad. I guess it's made me feel, it's reminded me of how helpless we can be about stuff. But then in thinking that, again, it doesn't really help. It's allowed me to sort of think, okay, we can be quite helpless in these situations, but how can I change my thinking? How can I align myself in a way that is helpful?
Yeah, I'm going to give COVID a quick punch.
Have you had your jab?
No, I haven't yet. Sorry. I'm just going to give it a punch anyway, just for the fun of it.
Look at. That's what I would do to COVID.
I've just punched anyway. I'll tell you what trick I'd do to get rid of it. I'd pretend to be Robert Downey Jr. in the end of Iron Man and say, I am Iron Man.
And then do the snap. Look. Can you see me? You can see it. I've got it. I'm missing a few stones, though.
Nice.
Missing 3 of them. Missing 3 stones. Missing 3 gems.
I wish I had the Infinity Gauntlet over COVID so I could just snap my fingers.
Okay. I'm going to go and kick Thanos in the balls and get the other 3 stones. But, hey,
Thanos is like the COVID. Thanos is like COVID.
He is the COVID.
Yeah.
I'll go to Thanos and be like, kick him in his nuts, and be like, give me those stones, bro. And I'll be like,
Because
and I'll be like, I would like unlimited ice cream for life. Oh no, I've wasted a click.
because
No, I clicked for the
I love the Avengers, because I see the Avengers as a family.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Superhero family, crime fighting team. Love the Avengers.
Yeah, I do too. I started watching them, the first Iron Man film.
Good, isn't it? It's an absolute classic. The Jericho missile. That's how Daddy does it. That's how America does it. And it works out pretty well so far. I just love that scene.
I also loved Michael B. Jordan's portrayal in
Killmonger.
Panther.
Killmonger was so good. Killmonger was so good. So good.
And anyway. Final question on the list. What advice would you give to young aspiring broadcasters?
I would say do your thing. And just like, and it's easier said than done, but I just think you just got to be yourself. And then I just think find those things that make you feel excited about, find the things that you would talk about with your friends and go and talk about them. And like, you will always find like your audience somewhere out there, because the internet is a big place, and there's a lot of people on it, and a lot of people are into some interested and somewhat weird stuff as well. So no matter how strange or weird or you think it is, that's going to be someone else's normal. So stick to your guns, trust yourself, and listen to and talk about what you want to talk about. Plus, I always tell people this: find your tribe, because you need to surround yourself with people who will help get the best out of you, and will be honest with you and tell you what isn't working, what isn't working, what is working. But more importantly, who want to share that journey with you. People who are also sort of driven, and people who've also got the desire to be like, look, I want to try and do this. I want to work on this. You're as good as the people around you. And if you've got people around you that are like determined, that are going to put the time in, going to put the effort in, you'll be doing that as well. So definitely find your tribe and like trust yourself. But I will say this: is that I know you asked for, you said what advice? You didn't say how much advice. I'll tell you something else as well. Have fun, because there's no point in doing all of this if you're not enjoying it. If it's a slog, if you feel like there's an end goal that you're meeting to make somebody else happy, or if there's something else you're doing, because you feel like you have to, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Like, you have to do it because you want to do it, and you've got to enjoy it. That's all I have to say, because I just think you've got to. There's no point in doing this type of stuff if you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying it. You're gonna have days where it's not gonna be great. You're gonna have days where you're not gonna feel motivated, and on those days, that's when the fun's gonna kick in. That's the stuff that's gonna make you want to do it. That's gonna make you show up when you don't want to.
Yeah, Kofi, you're an inspiration, mate. That's the end of the interview, I'm afraid.
Oh, good. That went by. Flew through that. Oh, I was waiting for time. No, that was good.
That's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us, Kofi, here on Hull Kingston Radio 107.4 FM. Join us again soon. Join us again soon for special guest radio broadcaster Jim Coulson's. But for now, please give it up for the legend that is Kofi Smilles. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much for having
interview with Kofi Smilles. Brilliant interview, I thought. So yeah, join me again for another video. My next video will be with the legendary Jim Coulson from Viking FM. So join me then. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe, please. Need the subscribers. Do comment, please. Need some comments, and dislike if you didn't like it. Don't comment if you didn't. If you're not interested. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Join me again for my episode with Jim Coulson later on today. But for now, that's a wrap.